Welcome back to the channel today. I hope you guys had a great week and are looking forward to the weekend. I know I am, for one massive reason. Well, other than that, it's the weekend. There's only one reason. I know why you're here. You know why I'm here. And we are here to preview the North London derby that is going down 12:30 on Saturday. Don't know why I said at. Yeah, so let's jump right into it. There's no explanation needed regarding what's, the history surrounding the two clubs and surrounding the two fan bases. It's absolutely incredible to be a part of, really. I think it's the biggest London derby in history. I think the fact Arsenal are going into this on the run of five wins in the last 7 games, which is relatively, when derbies are concerned, unheard of. I know, I know I'm not slagging or I'm not slating Arsenal at all. So don't get that twisted. I'm very happy with the way Arsenal have been playing. The players seem to be responding really well to the way the manager's come in and finally shaping his philosophy within the side. And obviously that's been reflected. Sorry, I was checking if it's still recording. That's been reflected within the results we have been getting. I mean, 5 wins in the last 7 games. That's good form. That's good going in any stage of the season, and at any part, So we are in the race. We are in the race for 4th, still well and truly. I mean, some fans, you'd think, we're in a relegation battle. I mean, they're expecting Emre to work miracles. How can you expect a guy to work miracles when he's not got the right tools he needs to be working with? He's not been given enough time. He's been given, I think now we're 9 months in, something like that. So that's, you could say, yes, it's enough time for us to start noticing difference. But I think over the last 3, maybe 4 weeks, so 3 weeks to a month, we have definitely noticed a difference. Like as mentioned, 5 wins in the last 7 games. I think that, I know one of those wins were in Europe, and one of the defeats were in Europe. But obviously, it all amounts to the same thing. I think we're going in, and the bigger picture, we're heading in the right direction, and the bigger picture looks very, very rosy right now. I don't want to come across as if I'm being overly positive, but why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we be positive? He's finally getting his philosophy into the players. The players are responding well to it. And obviously, the last 2 games were kind of contrasting performance because we grounded the Southampton result out. Still played well, and obviously, got the 2 goals. But I think that was more of a grind than the one after against Bournemouth. Remember, this is a Bournemouth side that hit, I think, 5 goals. Was it 4 or 5 goals? But against Chelsea, they smashed Chelsea to bits. Yes, granted, it was at home, but Bournemouth were at home to Chelsea. But again, we're in the bigger picture. That doesn't make much difference, if any. And I feel going into this game, I actually honestly do feel. Yes, I do feel nervous, because who wouldn't? I think both fan bases, no matter how confident you are, the nerves always override that. The nerves are always the outright winning emotion as such, and I think it's no different to this game, really, because the fans I've spoken to are all expecting Arsenal to put in a real professional performance like we did against Bournemouth, and I think the fact we are, as I say, we are going into it. Probably not. I mean, we're not the favourites by any stretch, because obviously, look at what Spurs have been doing. But they're also coming off a defeat, so I think they've won 4 of their last 7, which obviously again could go in any part of the season. And I think my overriding kind of, not even emotion, but my overriding thought is, if Emre gets the selection right, I think Arsenal run out, not comfortable winners, but I think Arsenal run out winners. I think because as a team, currently right now, we are a better side than they are. And that's not, as you could say, obviously, I know I'm probably going to get hate for that in the comments, but and whatever, but you could say that's me being biased towards Arsenal, and obviously, yes, I am going to be biased towards Arsenal because if you didn't already know, this is an Arsenal channel. Yes, I've based it around kind of sport, but it is an Arsenal channel. There's side note, there's going to be a few more different kind of videos coming to this channel, but back to the North London derby because obviously that's why we're all here. We are a better side than them at the moment, not just form wise, but I think squad wise. I think our starting lineup is a better starting lineup than they can put out. I mean, if Kieran Trippier is on form, it could be a very easy game. He could bang in like two own goals, or whatever. But and obviously continue making them a laughing stock. I'd never laughed so hard when that own goal went in, even though I actually contradicted myself by saying that I actually wanted Spurs to win. But obviously, as all Arsenal fans know, whenever you want Spurs to win, they never do. Why is that, Spurs fans? But, and obviously Spurs, please, next time we need you to do us a favour, pull through for us. With regards to the lineup, as I said, the lineup should stay the same. Should be a very balanced 4-3-2-1 formation. I don't think he'll go with two strikers. I think that would just be two attacking, and it'll invite Spurs on the counter attack, and I think it'll make our midfield, because we'll obviously have to sacrifice a midfielder in order to play an extra striker. Don't see that happening. I think it's not logical in terms of the situation and in terms of how big the game is. We need to win the game. Obviously, I would take a draw. I know that sounds a bit weird. You're saying that I would take a draw, but obviously, given where they are in the league and obviously where we are in the league, there's only we're fourth, they're third. It is what it is. But lineup has to stay the same. Leno's been proper stable in goal. He's been a rock when called upon. He has been the goalkeeper we all know he's capable of being, and that's testament and that's credit to the man himself. He has taken a little bit of time, but remember, one of the best goalkeepers currently, David De Gea, if not the best goalkeeper, under various opinions, whatever. Some say Edison, some say Alisson, and others say De Gea. I personally say De Gea, but yeah, he took ages to find his form and obviously come to grips with the physicality of the Premier League. Just like I think Leno's taking his time, biding his, just kind of easing himself into it. And again, he's not had to ease himself into it because he has been, like I said, he's been a rock as our goalkeeper. Premier League goalkeeper, obviously, he was always going to be our number one goalkeeper in the Premier League. But yeah, he would be my goalkeeper to start against Spurs. Right to left in the defence, I'd go with Cole Jenkinson. None more so. There's going to be a short explanation. He's been absolutely outstanding ever since he's been called upon. He's our only natural right back that's fit. I am hearing that Steven Lichtsteiner is fit, but obviously he kind of divides opinion. I mean, I'm on the fence still. I'm not going to say I don't like him. I'm not going to say I do like him because the passion's there. But with regards to obviously how big the game is, we need someone who is defensively minded. I believe Jenkinson is that guy. He's also a gooner through and through. He said it in his interview. I think when he played in Europe, he come out and he was just like, I'm just a fan living his dream, playing for Arsenal. That's it, and that's what the fans want to hear. They want people that are relatable. But obviously, moving from right to left, first centre back would be Socrates. I think, again, no explanation needed. He's been the leadership the guy has brought to the club has been second to none. He's been a rock with Koscielny. Much prefer that partnership to any other partnership, aside from obviously Rob Holding, because obviously we know Rob Holding's a long-time absentee. But yeah, Socrates is he's just been outstanding. Every time he's always been, every time he's called upon, just been he's so reliable, which brings me to, again, you obviously know who I'm going to hit you with next. It'll be Koscielny. Koscielny would be because he's experienced within the North London derby, he's obviously been through a fair few, and I think those two together are our best two defenders. Like I said, barring Rob Holding, because I think Holding would probably come in without doubt for Koscielny. I don't think Koscielny would keep his place, but I think the fact Rob Holding's, like I said, long-term absentee. I think he's, Koscielny is the next best. I think a lot of people have said, "Oh, he's not the same Koscielny," whatever. It's just worry about his performances. Don't worry about whether he's been performing consistently and constantly over the last few games, and that's why he would be my second partner in Socrates, my second defender in the back four. Probably and most likely, Kolasinac will be installed as a left back. I think, for me, I don't know really where to stand with him. He's great going forward, but when he's asked to track back, he gives away just silly fouls, and obviously, yes, you could say we've got a few players that do that in the side, but with regards to, he could be playing up against Lucas Moura or I think Son, Heung-min Son, and you can't afford to be giving those fouls away, because if he gets booked early in the game, and he's got another 85 to 90 minutes, 85 to 80 minutes to go, then that's you're walking a tightrope. And I think, I'm not saying he will, but he's always got that in his locker. I would prefer to see Monreal as the left back, and the reason being is because I think he's as good going forward as he is coming backwards. That's and that's the whole explanation. But with regards to why I would like to see Monreal instead of Kolasinac. As I said, formation I expect 4-3-2-1. So there'd be two in the hole, two holding midfielders, being Granit Xhaka, which I'd love to see Granit Xhaka reinstalled in the side. I think again he does divide opinion within the fan base. A lot of people don't really know where to stand. A lot of people don't like him, and some do like him. I've backed him since we bought him. Always knew he was going to turn out probably like he is, because he is erratic, and he again, another one that gives away silly fouls, gets beat in the midfield and just pulls the guy back. It's just like, you can't be doing that, and especially in a game like this, those type of fouls will be scrutinised, and obviously they will be criticised by the fans, but that's not to say I'm not going to pick him. I think in my honest opinion, I prefer the partnership of him and Lucas Torreira. I think, like I was saying, I think Torreira and Xhaka provide Arsenal with more stability and more, not so much creativity, because we don't expect those two to be the creative spark within the midfield. They're just there. Their prime their prime work and their prime work rate and their prime objective is to stop the opposition midfield coming forward. So I believe those two are our best midfielders sort of going forward, and the best partnership for a game like this, because obviously there will be a hell of a lot. They will be under pressure a hell of a lot, because obviously that's the type of team that Spurs are. Their work rate second to none. It's I think not out of stats, but I think they're up there with the Cities and the Liverpools. So, but that being said, those two would be my holding midfielders as such, because as I say, 4-3-2-1. So they'll be the two that are in the hole and stopping the Spurs midfield coming forward. Moving from left to right as three behind one striker. Moving from left to right, I've got Iwobi. I think Iwobi will get the nod. I think because obviously he's a naturally wide player, and obviously naturally gifted wide player at that. He's definitely improved under Emre. I think the fact that a new manager's come in, it's obviously given him a new lease of life regarding getting his name on the team sheet, obviously more often than not, because obviously that's what you want as a modern day player. You want to be able to get your play time up as such, and I think he's obviously been doing that, and letting his performances just speak for themselves. Really, he has. I think most Arsenal fans would also agree. He's looked like a brand new player. He's showing the skill, the flair, dare I say it, the swagger that I think we all knew he was capable of, but he was just finding it hard to get it out as such under Wenger. No surprise in from him in the middle of the three. No surprise, it's going to be your boy, man like Mesut Ozil, my guy. we've looked completely lost creative wise, and just basically we've looked completely lost. The players love it when Ozil's on the pitch. The fans love it, more importantly, when Ozil's on the pitch. I know it does divide the fan base slightly, but that's all to do with the media. The media spin everything out of context, and obviously out of, if you want to believe it, then that's that's down to you. But personally, until anything comes out from the club, like it has done now, Emre has come out and said it's all in Ozil's hands. If he stays fit, he gets picked. That's all he needs to do. The work rate and the whole issue with him not tracking back, that's not an issue. Is because with players like that, other players in the team would work doubly, I'm sure would work doubly hard in order for Ozil to be able to be more free and obviously not have to do as much running backwards. That's not to say he's excused. No way. He's not excused at all. But with that being said, he'll be my main sort of attacking midfielder because obviously, as I say, we lack creativity without him. Mkhitaryan will be the right midfield or right wing player. I think again another one like Webby has looked a brand new player. He's just been he's been given a new lease of life. I think last couple of games he scored two in 2 games. So I think obviously his work rate all round has been, the fans love him every time. Whether he gets brought off or whether he gets brought on, singing his name all the time. It's a joy to watch. It's a joy to see those 3 attacking midfielders as such. Would be, I think, would definitely be my pick to be in the side. I think, provided obviously everyone's fit. I'm hearing there's no new injury concerns, which is obviously a good thing because the heat of the moment, obviously heat of the game, heat of the battle, is you don't want to go into a game like that with any fresh injury concerns. Touch wood, it's all looking good. The main striker, the lone striker, I think obviously playing in front of those would be Aubameyang. I think he just gives us a little bit more than Lacazette in different ways. I think you look at Lacazette and obviously you think he gives it 110%, runs everywhere, and yeah, you'd be right, deadly right saying that. I think, but also Aubameyang gives you that as well. They're both deadly finishers, and obviously I think Lacazette was asked, does he see him as a rival? He point blank said, is that more or less, is that even a question? They are obviously rivals for one spot, especially when we play more so away from home than at home. But they are rivals just with regards to obviously the squad. But they both want what's best for the team, and obviously they both will abide, with whatever Emre chooses to do. If he goes with Aubameyang, which I think he will, because obviously we see what Aubameyang did to Spurs when we beat them 4-2 at the Emirates. Expecting a similar game. I'm expecting goals, and I'm expecting high pressure. I'm expecting massive work rates from both teams, and that should be the platform of or not the platform, the template of all North London derbies. Because obviously, as we've seen in the past, Spurs have enjoyed majority of the victories. We've obviously got the victory, and we're going for the league double, which would be great. So, as it's the first game of the weekend, I feel it could ruin, or it will ruin definitely my weekend, and obviously, many others. And if we do get a win, well then, it is how it is. I think the fact, that I genuinely think we are going into it in better form. Like I said, I think earlier on in the video, 5 wins from the last 7 games. You could say, yeah, you played Barty in 2 of those games and you lost 1 and you won 1, but we got through to the next round in that cup, and we've played really, really well in the league in the last 2 games. We grinded out the result against Southampton, bashed Bournemouth 5-1. What could you can't really ask for much more than Emre's producing, and the players are obviously buying into what Emre wants and his philosophy within how he wants the team to play. So I'm going to go and obviously wrap the video up. My score prediction for the game is Arsenal to run out 3-2 winners. Leave your opinions down below in the section. That is all for this video, and I'll talk to you guys, see you guys in the next video. I love you guys, have a great weekend, good vibes only. Yeah, I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Peace.
for the bass. My DJ, yo, get on the case.